Welcome to Talk About Scary, the show where we do just that. I'm Clay, and I'm joined by Adam.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Adam. Oh, hey, I'm also joined by Mackenzie.
Hey, how's it going?
We're good. Well, I'm good. I can't speak for Adam. Are you good, okay. Adam? We're okay.
C plus today.
C plus? C plus plus? That's like the only class in high school that I failed.
At least it's not a failing day.
Computer programming? It's a nightmare of a class.
Oh, yeah. You know what else is a nightmare is bilateral inguinal hernia surgeries.
Yeah,
I heard.
Those definitely.
I mean, if you're going to bring it up. Yeah.
Mackenzie is now watching The Chronicles of Hernia. And later on, he'll be listening to that old James Brown song, Living with a Hernia. So he's doing it all up.
I'm just making sure I get my fill of it.
That's
You've
it.
got to. You've got
get your
to
mesh,
get the fill.
Get your mesh on, dude.
But in all seriousness, we're glad that you're doing well. And we're glad that you're joining us on this episode. We had you on the phone, we're over the phone right now, but you were on the phone during our special Spirits of the Superstition Mountains, now available on Tubi and Amazon Prime, as well as several other streaming platforms if you are interested in checking it out. And if you haven't, why are you even listening to this? Go watch it right now.
Just check it out.
Check it out.
Stop what you're doing. Go watch it.
But we thought Mackenzie would be a great guest to have on this episode, where we are once again going to talk about the Superstition Mountains. Oh my gosh, I know. It's like all we talk about is just rocks and stuff. Oh my gosh. But in all seriousness, again, he's a great guest to have. He grew up here. He's familiar with the mountains. He almost died trying to find the gold once. I don't know if that's true.
No, not really. I usually actually forget about it when I go hiking.
See, almost died while hiking. You heard it here.
Actually,
sounds like it to me.
I did almost die one time going up. I went up in a storm.
Facts. Oh yeah, it's beautiful when it snows, isn't it?
Yeah, it was actually really great. I got a great picture of it from Flatiron, looking down on the valley.
Amazing. It's like maybe every 2 to 4 years that it does that. It's nice.
Good stuff, guys. Yeah, it's beautiful up there, man. You and I went hiking up there, Clay, for Spirits of the Superstitions, and we call Mackenzie, like you said, Superstitions. Spirits of the Superstitions, and we had a great time. Spirits. Spit all over my microphone. Just spit everywhere.
Just wipe it off. It's cool.
It's got one of those dead cats on it, so it's not wiping it off. It's just gonna drip now. Like morning dew. I see the spittle on my mic like morning dew, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Mountain Dew?
Mountain Dude. Speaking of mountain dudes, it's a treacherous hike, Mackenzie.
Yeah,
it is.
It definitely is.
Clay's and my out of shape asses barely got us up the hill. So
now, when you were going up the main path, it looked like you guys went off to the left.
Yeah.
Instead of going straight up towards Flatiron.
Yeah, because the legend behind the Lost Dutchman's Gold is that the treasure is actually supposedly somewhere in the state park. And I mean, if you kind of think about how mines work and how, geology works, it would make sense that the gold, if there is any air quotes gold, it's going to be lower. It's going to be lower to the ground. It's not going to be like way up high, hidden in some cave or something like that. I know there's all sorts of different theories and everything, but when we went out to shoot the special, we figured we'd stay kind of in the state park area and low to the ground and kind of get as close to the base as we could while still, getting significantly high. But we didn't find anything.
You're going to want to get high and then work the base. You're not going to want to.
Did you hear my pause? Because I knew you were going to make some joke about getting high.
You also said work the base, so I figured I would just... We didn't go all the way up the shaft. We stayed close to the base. It was fantastic. Yeah, you got to throw all the jokes out at once. I mean, Clay's family listens to this podcast. I want to make sure they're mortified.
My family does not listen to this podcast.
You will not let him listen to anything we do. I might even invite it over his house because he's afraid.
My family would be ashamed of this podcast.
Clay is ashamed of me. He doesn't let me come over unless no one's home.
No one's home now.
He has a censoring machine when I start talking, and he can just hit the button anytime he wants. It makes a very loud beep.
Yeah, it's like those old, when they played like PG-13 movies on like ABC Family, they'd like bleep it out. That's what I have. It's just everywhere. It's in the air. You can't say bad words here.
Oh.
It's true. But anyway, we stayed close to the base, and but we did actually hike quite a ways up too. I mean, it was tiring.
Yeah, I want to say at one point we had checked our phone and it was like, I want to say we did like 2.5 miles out, and then obviously it was 2.5 miles back. But it was like we did like 5-ish miles altogether, and I mean, it's a pretty significant hike for people who don't regularly participate in recreation.
Athletic. Yeah.
No, it's definitely not recommended if you don't do any type of recreational walking to do that.
The best part was when this old gentleman walked by us who looked like he owned the mountain.
Mayor of the mountain. He was the mayor of that mountain.
He had his walking stick. He was clearly both our ages put together, probably plus. And we were like, and he was like, "Evening, gents."
Yeah, he was cool. He was walking up at night too. I'm like, "What are you doing, dude?
Oh,
yeah.
Get out of here."
He was going to the Lost Dutchman's mine.
Yeah, he knows where it is.
Yeah, you got to go at night.
Making a withdrawal.
That's what they say about ghosts. They don't come out during the day.
That's true.
Hey, did you ever hear the legend where you got to go in the middle of the night and then you look for the big glowing like light coming from the side of the mountain?
We thought about doing that. We found out it was just Phoenix.
Oh.
And it was
just delusional at that point then.
Well, also
so
it was actually very dark though once the sun did set. I mean, we were mostly back down to just desert land by that point, but it was very dark. We both had flashlights, but I would not want to be like way up there late at night. Like, holy crap.
Well, we were up there pretty far when we were filming Monster. We went up there too.
We were, but I was also quite a bit younger, and we were more stupid and enthusiastic back in those days.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now when we film something, Clay and I have to get what they call hip insurance. Hip insurance. So if we fall and we break a hip, we're insured.
Well, hey, you got to make sure that your bases are covered.
You got to make sure you cover that base.
You fall and break it just to get the payment.
It's true. It's all true. But yeah. So
well, I don't want to give like any more facts about the Superstition Mountains. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, definitely check out the special. We've done an episode about the Superstition Mountains, and at this point in time, we will have actually released another episode about the Superstition Mountains. So this is our third freaking episode about this big old hilltop.
Talk about superstitions.
But I did kind of want to talk to Adam, and I know that Mackenzie wasn't there, but like I said, he grew up in the area. He's familiar with it. Again, almost died trying to find that stupid gold. Not really, but how did you feel like when you were up there? Did you ever feel like you were in danger or that anything was gonna get you?
I mean, there's a few times where you're looking over your shoulder, like as you're coming back down, just because, I mean, there's some people I know also that have done those hikes, and one person in particular said that they were stalked by a mountain lion, like on their way back down.
See, I don't remember
That's some true
seeing
talk right there.
Any animals, though. Unless they were so stealthy that I was, like, about to be their prey and not even know it.
I mean,
there are a lot of mountain lions on that trail.
Yeah, there definitely are, and they stay
I remember
a good distance away, but they're pretty sneaky when it comes to like coming up on you without you noticing.
Yeah, Clay, you remember when I went to that encove, that cave right there, where we both separated and we came out,
Right.
and I was talking about, I don't know if it made the episode, but or the special, but there was clumps of fur in there, like there was webs and spiders and clumps of fur where that's where they would chill. So it was definitely like lion fur, and it smelled nasty. But
I think some of that made the special, but I don't know if your dialogue necessarily did. But
my dialogue should never make the special.
There was so much that we had to cut down to, roughly an hour and 15 minutes. And I wish we could have kept it all, but that's not the way the cookie crumbles.
Definitely not. But yeah, there's definitely mountain lions up there, and there's coyotes, and people report seeing skinwalkers on there, and disembodied voices, and all sorts of scary stuff. I don't know if I believe in any of that part, but snakes and mountain lions will scare the shit out of me without that stuff.
Yeah.
There's plenty of those. And tarantulas, I don't like a tarantula, man. You guys can keep them sons of bitches to yourself. I do not like tarantulas.
Yeah, they're like most harmless things. As long as your palm is flat, they can't bite you.
They're just like
and they're super fuzzy, but those little fuzz things get in your legs and they hurt.
Yeah, I've never had that.
It's not their fault, though.
They're spiders. F them. Burn the house down.
I don't really care for spiders either, but, all jokes aside, I said this while we were filming the special, and I said it during the interview after the special that is, in the special. And I'm just going to say special one more time. Special. But anyway, I think the biggest thing for me while we were shooting that was just real life things happening. It seemed so easy to get lost, to not pack enough water or food and get hungry or thirsty depending on how far out you are, and die of natural causes or dehydration, that sort of thing, or animals getting you, something like that, or getting hurt and just not having cell service and no one able to help you, rather than
not even just like the dehydration and not having enough food, but once that sun goes down, even if it's the middle of like July, the temperature out in the desert drops drastically compared to how it does like in the actual city area too.
True.
Like you hear all these stories about people coming over from Mexico and they end up finding them frozen to death because the temperature in the middle of the desert drops down to like 60 degrees when it was 120 outside during the day.
Yeah, I mean, that can cause like havoc on your body because it's essentially shock. I mean, where else in the US does it fluctuate in temperature by 60 to 70 degrees in one day? I mean, it doesn't typically. So I totally understand what you're saying. But I think that real life like that, like the temperature or animals or getting lost or getting hurt, is really the scary part of the superstitions, and not a goblin coming out of the ground eating your ankles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally part of the legend, is goblins, ankle-eating goblins. Nom, 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 nom.
I don't know if
I heard that.
The goblin.
It's fact.
Is it?
No, but, skinwalkers, that sort of thing. I made up the goblin thing. I'm sorry. I know that someone was about to be like, what? There's the goblins? No, there's not. Yet.
No goblins.
About to have all the D&D fanatics coming after this mountains looking for them goblins.
Hey, I mean, I gotta say, Goldfield Ghost Town was a blast. So if this podcast does anything and brings tourists or weary travelers to visit it, more power to them. It's a cool area. It's fun. Goldfield Ghost Town was a blast, like I said. And the hike was, if nothing else, exhilarating. And I lost probably a couple pounds. And great views. I can't even tell you like how many great pictures I took on that hike. But I don't think that it's haunted. And I think that it's funny that so many people, again, I don't know where this consensus comes from, but so many people claim that it's one of the most haunted mountain ranges in America. Like, come on.
If there is any truth to the hauntings, I feel like it's going to be back a little bit deeper into the mountains. Like, and when I was in elementary school, we went on the hieroglyphic trail hike, and
I told you, Adam. I told you, Adam. Right here, you're hearing it.
I'm hearing it.
you are
Absolutely.
I told him about this field trip.
Yeah, we went on it. I think I was 9 when I did it.
Yep,
And
that's about what I said.
Yeah, we went back into the mountains, all-day event, and we got to look at all the different hieroglyphics. They talked about how Native Americans would like live in those mountains, and that was just one of the places that they lived. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was some type of burial ground or like some type of spirit going through that mountain range. But I mean, it's a big area, so just going to the front of the mountain, yeah, it might not yield results, but if you go a little bit deeper in, you might find some weird stuff.
Yeah.
I agree. I think, it's, as stated in the special, it's a wilderness, and I think people underestimate like what that means and how big the area is. Like, yeah, we investigated a fairly large portion, but of a huge portion. Like we didn't really even like break ground on the whole mountain range. It would take years. Yeah, it would take years for a team of like a dozen people to really investigate the entire wilderness of the Superstition Mountains. And that's not feasible unless some company wants to pay a bunch of people, and that's what they do. And yeah.
Yeah.
But I do agree with what you said that there's a lot of stuff with the hieroglyphics, and there could be Native American burial grounds and everything that's happened. In the special, Adam, we talked about Apache tribes and what's happened to them and the massacres and all that stuff. And I think if anything, although we didn't experience any of it, I think that if there is anything up there, it's just because of the foot traffic and what's happened and the history behind these lands that could be leading to the hauntings. But I think that the gold itself is just probably never going to be found. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I've said it, I think, in all of the episodes that we've done, and the special is, if the gold wanted to be found, if it was going to be found, it would have been found by now. I don't think there's like any sort of like hidden cavern that people haven't found yet. I mean, too many people have lost their lives. They've been killed. Their bones have been spread out.
I mean, there's a lot of mines that people don't find them, and it's honestly just like a crack in the rocks.
Yeah.
If you don't know to go look in that crack in the rocks, like, you're not going to find it. Like, I went through a time where I was binge watching old Unsolved Mysteries episodes.
Nice.
And they actually have an episode on there where they're talking about a mine, I think it was in New Mexico, that someone found. They found all this gold, like actual like legit gold bars that someone like stashed in there. And they thought it was from when the Spaniards were coming through. And over the years, the family tried to like get access to it again, but they couldn't because the U.S. military took over that whole area, including that mountain. And they like...
It's always the military.
Yeah. It's always the military's fault.
It's always the military.
But,
it's always them.
Yeah. I mean, with that, they were talking about how like the entrance was just a crack in the rocks.
Yeah, someone barely noticed it.
Yeah, but that one person that did found gold. So, I mean, it could be one of those situations to where, yeah, it's out there, but you just got to find the right random crack in the mountainside to wander into.
It's just way too much out there.
I don't recommend wasting your life trying to find it, though. I think that...
Definitely not worth it.
Like all great legends and Indiana Jones-like ventures, the search for the Lost Dutchman's gold mine is just It's littered with betrayal, backstabbing, and unexplained disappearances, including death. And it's just not something that you should really like mess with.
There's also no true evidence to lead you in any direction, so
exactly.
You're not really looking for a needle in a haystack.
It's just myth. And too many people have already died. We've talked about, like I said, bones everywhere. And Adam, you've brought up like skulls getting cracked, broken in half, shoved in crevices, while like the rest of the bodies are in different places. And it's just, I don't know what's causing that. If it's skinwalkers, aliens, forces of nature that we don't comprehend, or coyotes that are a little bit mischievous. We don't know. But it's definitely the wilderness.
It's definitely hardcore and raw dog out there. And again, touching on it. Hell yeah.
Hardcore.
Get it. Yeah, it's definitely, a lot of deaths have happened out there, a lot of murders, a lot of dumped bodies and things. So it's not the most hospitable place to be, obviously.
No, a hospital would be.
A hospital would be a very hospitable place to be. Dad joke of the year right there, everybody. Clay said it.
I did. I'm famous for saying bad dad jokes. But before we wrap this episode up, Mackenzie, did you want to add anything about the Superstition Mountains and the Lost Dutchman's gold?
Not anything that I didn't already say. I mean,
you secretly found it, didn't you?
Oof.
You have the gold.
I'll take that to the grave with me.
The gold.
We got to get him. We got to get him. He has it.
In all seriousness, though, I mean, you guys have said it yourselves. It's a beautiful hike if you want to take that venture. Make sure you're prepared. But, I mean, the legend is a legend. So, I mean, not much else to say on that.
That's what they said about me. That's what she said about me.
And I don't believe anyone said that about you, Adam, but did you want to add anything? And I know I kind of already asked this, but at any point were you scared during our adventure?
I don't get scared. I get ready.
Oh, you don't get scared. Check this out.
Pretty sure that I might have saw a tear or two when I watched the special.
I did get scared of my own physical health and the real possibility that I might have a heart attack walking my fat ass up that mountain. But Boo! I will say, and I will say that...
Did that scare you? I've been waiting. Did that scare you?
No, it didn't scare me. Maybe you were actually scared, but you're not.
I think that it did. We all know.
I will say, I digress. I will say that the idea that so many people have been killed on that mountain, regardless of whether or not you believe it's ghosts and goblins or humans or skinwalkers or mountain lions, real scary. These are all things that are horrific. And
or aliens.
I mean, I won't talk about who got killed where because they can watch the special, which we'd really appreciate, now playing on Tubi.
Okay,
if they want. I add them. That's right. If they want to see more about it, there's a lot of detail in there. But that alone is pretty terrifying. It just seems like scorched earth. It just seems like just salted earth that nobody should be walking around. And when it comes to greed, bad things can happen, and they always happen. So those kind of things do scare me. There's nothing scarier than what happens in real life by real humans. So it was scary.
You are not wrong. But we do want to thank Mackenzie for joining us on this episode. Thank you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Mackenzie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being had.
Anytime, Adam.
It's been a lot of fun. We've been getting some great feedback on the special, so keep watching it, keep sharing it with your friends, and this is probably one of the last times you're actually going to hear us talk about it as we look forward to doing more new adventurous things. I was going to say adventures, but I said adventurous before that. So things in the future.
Adventurous adventures.
I ran out of words. I don't have a dictionary in front of me.
If you were a dinosaur, you definitely would not be a thesaurus. You would definitely not be a thesaurus. That's right.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you. And keep it real.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear you say. Say it again.
It again.
Say
Didn't
it
expect
again.
that,
Say
did you?